Boost,
Go.
boost, boost, boost,
Go.
boost.
Get
Oh,
it.
I missed it.
So close, so close.
Is it time for our game?
Oh yeah, we have a lesson we need to do, huh?
We do have a lesson.
Good job playing.
Thank you.
That was fun. All right, we are going to get started with our fourth lesson. So welcome back to Nurturing Positive Competitors, and today we are going to be talking about strategies for success. And your hosts for today, you have myself, Mrs. Jaime, and
I'm Mr. Ben.
so just to review what we've already talked about, in lesson one, you talked about and you learned about what kind of gamer you want to be. In lesson two, you discussed giving constructive feedback, so not positive, not negative, but right in the middle at constructive feedback. And in lesson three, you learned how to deal with confrontation. And then today we are going to set you up for success with some strategies.
Knowing how to play is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to this game than just knowing how to play, and we've covered a lot of this in the previous lessons. We've taught you how to be a positive gamer, how to identify positive responses as well as negative, and positive criticisms and constructive feedback. But now in this lesson, we're going to focus on how to play. What are some great strategies you can use to excel in the game and become a better gamer? So one of the best ways to do that is to follow competitive players, people who play this professionally. We've showed you some gamers who are playing professionally for other games in previous lessons. But go and find some professional Rocket League players. There's a lot of YouTube videos and they do regular season tournaments. You can find games that they're playing and watch their games. See what strategies they use for success and how they set themselves up for success in a game. How do they work with their teammates, and are they positive gamers, or do they have things to improve upon? When you're watching these, take notes. See what kind of strategies they use. Are they all going for the ball at once? Are they all trying to score? Or are some of them holding back? Read guides. A lot of published guides in different magazines and different online articles that talk about the best strategies in certain scenarios and how to play certain types of games. And the last thing is practice. Nothing can beat practice, and in Rocket League in particular, there's an entire mode of Rocket League dedicated to practicing. Utilize it, it can set you up for success, and it helps you a lot.
As you may or may not know, as we go through our league in Anaheim Elementary School District, you guys will be playing 3-by-3. That means 3 people on one team versus 3 people on another team. So with so many people playing at once, should all 3 team members try to score at the same time? So we're gonna go ahead and pause the video and give you guys a chance to discuss in your classes about whether or not all 3 people on your team should try to score at the same time, or should you use a different kind of strategy? Welcome back. We hope you guys had a great discussion in your classes. If you guys talked anything about rotations, then you are on the right track. So rotations help your team work together. That way you guys can cover the field at all times and you're not leaving any blank spaces open. So we're gonna go ahead and watch a quick video about rotations and how they work with Rocket League.
One of the first things I learned when I started diving deeper into the game of Rocket League is there are more ways to win than just being good at hitting the ball, because that's hard for some of us. You can also win by being good at rotation. Now, Rocket League players talk a lot about rotation, and I think sometimes we make it a little more complicated than it needs to be. Sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective, and I think that's especially true in Rocket League. To help us keep rotation simple, we have our first guest speaker, RLCS coach and content creator Verge. Verge, how important is rotation in Rocket League?
The more you get into Rocket League, the more you start to enjoy it and you realize it's a team game. Rotation becomes like the primary aspect of everything you do.
Wow. Okay. So what is the most essential aspect of rotation that you think everyone needs to know?
The most important aspect of rotation, in as few words as possible, is fill gaps. It's really important to just fill the gaps that your teammates are leaving. It's never about a 1-2-3 order. It's always about where does my team need me to fill space to cover options.
What's the most common mistake you see players making when it comes to rotation?
So the biggest mistake that players make is the near post rotations. They rotate with the play, moving the same direction as the ball when they finish their play. They should be rotating away from the play to get behind their teammates to cover anything that gets past them.
What are some ways players can work on correcting those mistakes and improving their rotations?
Changing your mentality from I'm carrying the team to I'm working with my team. If you start to think about your rotation as helping your team out rather than helping yourself out, then you start to recognize more opportunities to rotate in ways that you wouldn't normally rotate, and it would give your team a better overall coverage.
All right, that's about all the time we have for today. To summarize, all you have to do to rotate well is go back post and don't be selfish.
Rotation!
I hope you guys really enjoyed that video and learned a lot about rotations. Rocket League Academy is a great resource and they have a lot of videos on it if you'd like to learn more at home. Next, we're going to continue on the theme of rotations and talk about offensive or scoring rotations. So you'll have slightly different rotations based on whether you guys have the ball and you're on the offense or whether you are defensive and your team is trying to protect your goal. For offensive strategies, you need boost. You need to make sure that you always have boost so that you can get the shot right when you need it. So the best strategy for that is to have one person going towards the goal to take a shot while the second person is coming back for a boost and the third person who had just gotten boost is coming in to take a shot in case the first person misses. This way you have continual ball handling, and whether somebody misses the ball or just misses a shot, there's somebody there to take the shot again or make the rebound. Next, we're going to watch a quick video that would be what you would see on your Switch if you are performing the rotation. I hope that video was helpful to see what it's like when you're actually playing and be able to see it yourself. Hopefully that'll get you a lot of goals and you guys can maintain that rotation. Next, let's talk about defensive rotations. So the other team got the ball somehow, whether it be a rebound or a kickoff, and now you need to defend your goal. The best rotation for this is similar to our first rotation, where you're gonna have a line of 3 people that are going in the same circle, making the same rotations, but it's going to be moved back farther on the arena. So the front person is going to be going for the ball to try and get the ball back from the other team. Meanwhile, the next person who just did that is getting fresh boost to be able to go back while also swinging around their goal to maintain protection on the goal. The third person should be right in between, ready to try and go for the ball again if the first person missed the takeaway or the steal. Next, we're going to watch another video of what it'll look like in this rotation from the gamer's point of view, from your point of view on the Switch, and I hope it helps.
Welcome back. Hopefully that video gave you a good perspective of how to play defense in your rotations. Next, we're going to talk about some parts of the field and how you communicate about where you are on the field with your teammates. We know part of being a good teammate is also communicating, making sure that you guys are all on the same page, you guys have the same goal in mind. And so we're going to talk about these 3 points on the field. First, you have your goal. This is where you are trying to score. Then you have your opponent's goal where they are trying to score, you are trying to defend, and then you have the middle of the field. So those are great landmarks to use when you're communicating with your teammates, making sure that you guys have the same language as you are talking. Next, we're going to look at the coordinate map, and on here you can see that there are 6 points that are circled. These are also the main boosts for the game, so you want to make sure that you know exactly where those are and how to communicate about those parts of the field as well. So you're going to have a quick discussion with your team, and you're going to discuss what would you call these 6 points on the field. So you're going to come up with common vocabulary to make sure that you guys are all on the same page so that as your team is competing, you guys are all saying the same thing and you know what your teammates are talking about. All right, we hope you guys were able to come up with some common vocabulary for your map on the field. You're gonna go ahead and practice these rotations as you guys get that time to play against each other at your school sites. Make sure you're practicing those rotations, you're practicing the vocabulary so that your team can be as successful as possible.
And remember, Rocket League has a ton of great tools and practice modes. Utilize the practice modes. There's 3 levels, beginner, intermediate, and advanced for each style of practice, whether you want to be a goalie or a striker or the other aerials and other modes that they have. Utilize them and practice as much as you can to be a successful team together. All right, good luck.
Have fun.
Let's play.
Let's play.